Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time I'm going to be doing a two-player game of Roll for the Galaxy, which of course is a derivative of Race for the Galaxy, which is a card game. I prefer this one. I've played them both. I find this one a little bit easier to understand, and I find rolling the dice quite a lot of fun. So I'm just going to go quickly through the setup. Not going to belabor things too much here. I'll explain a little bit as I go. So for the setup, you get a player mat to start with, and you're going to get two of these white dice that just sit in here called your citizenry. These are people available for you to use later in the game, and you get your color meeple that starts on the number 1 spot. And there's a little recycle thing here, so if you ever go lower than $1, if you go to 0, you automatically bounce back to 1. And you have a little card here with 5 symbols on it. One of them is Explore, one is Develop, one is Settle, one is Produce, and one is Ship. Will make sense when the planets and stuff come out onto the board. And every player starts with their little colored cup, which has cool symbols on the side for 4 of the different actions you can take in the game. And I have the expansion in this game as well. And so in the expansion you get black dice and you get orange dice, and they have 2 symbols a side. The base game comes with just dice that have 1 symbol per side. And so these, with the expansion, so you get 1 black as your captain and 2 regular white dice go into your cup at the start of your game. So that's a very quick start to getting set up. The next thing we do is everyone is going to randomly get one of the starting homeworld / race cards, and with the expansion they added I think 14 more or something. It's ridiculous. I think the base game came with 9, expansion came with another 14. So we're just going to pick this one for ourselves. And yes, we're going to be playing blue. We're going to be playing against the red player. And so what we have, let's take a look here. We are the planetary surveyors, and we're going to have an ongoing special ability, and we also have 1 planet associated with us, which is the jump drive fuel depot. And we're just going to read the text here. I'm just going to tell you quickly what you need to do. So this special ability for us says you may reassign 1 or 2 home or white dice to become explorers and or settlers. So we can take the white dice no matter what they're rolled, and we can take 1 or 2 of them and we can make them explore, or we can make them settle. And this will make sense when we start playing through the game. So that's our special ability. And we have 1 planet to start with. And it says right here, gain an entrepreneur orange die into your citizenry at the start of the game. So I'm going to put this above my mat here. So we're going to gain an orange die. So this is from the expansion, so this must be an expansion one. It goes into our citizenry. So it will become available for us to purchase in later turns. And of course there are dice in this game, just like hundreds of dice. So never feared, of all different colors. There's blue, yellow. Anyway, we'll get into it as we play. The other thing for the start of the 2-player game is there are victory point tokens, and we're going to set aside 24. So there's basically 2 ways for the game to end. If all 24 of these victory tokens are taken, the game will immediately end. Or if any one of the players ends up getting 12 places out on their area, that will be the last turn the game will end. So right now we basically count as having 1, 2 for our starting world, but we're not done set up yet. We need to now pick a starting homeworld. That was our starting race and ability, so let's go ahead. We're just going to randomly pick that one. Again, you get more with the expansion. And we also have the Alien First Contact team. So it says gain an alien technology yellow die into your cup at the start of the game. Well, that's pretty awesome, and it goes up here. So this is what we're starting with. So these are the alien die, so that goes into our cup at the start of the game. And you'd think, okay, so setup is ready? Well, no, setup's not ready, not finished yet, because now we need to pick 2 tokens out of this bag. So these starting world tokens have the black in each corner, and this bag of 60 tokens, believe it or not. There's 55 from the base game, and the expansion added 5 more. So I'm just going to randomly grab 2 out of here. I'm not looking or cheating, believe me. And how I play the game and how it's suggested on your first game is you're going to take a look at these and you're going to pick the ones with the lowest value. And you're going to need one that's a brown triangle or tan triangle, or not triangle, tan diamond, and a white yellow. So we're going to take the round ones are planets, and the diamond shape are developments. You're going to take the lowest one of each. So if we look at our planets here, we have a 2 planet and a 3. Well, we're going to be choosing the 2. We have a 3 development and a 6. So for the start of the game, we're going to be picking the 2 planet and the 3 development. So let's take a look at them and see what they are. And these are things we're working on. They're not things we actually have available to us yet. And so we have the executive power, and it's going to cost us 3 develop dice to make this happen. And it says you may reassign exactly 2 same phase workers to the phase you select. So it gives you a little more variety in reassigning your dice. And you'll see how that happens as we play the game. And the other one is our little planet, and it's a novelty peddlers. And this is what happens when you gain or settle this world. Excuse me. It says gain an entrepreneur orange and a novelty cayenne die into your citizenry when you place this world. So, and it's going to take 2 settle dice, see the round symbol here, to settle this world, and this is going to take 3 develop dice to get this development. So you can see how you add these developments and worlds out into your galaxy, into your civilization. And if you ever get 12 of these, so this counts as 1, 2, 3 right now. So if you get 9 more, then that's going to be the last turn of the game. So now us as the blue player, we are completely set up and ready to go. We have our dice in our cup. We have the 2 white. Our captain is black, and we have the 1 alien die from our starting world. Now let's go over to the red player. We're going to do exactly the same thing. They need to get set up. And then that's going to be the setup for the game. And then I will show you one last thing at the end. All right, so very quickly, we're starting with 2 whites in the citizenry. The red meeple is sitting here on the number 1 space. He has his black die captain, 2 home dice, white dice, into his cup. Boom, done. He now has to choose one of the... Oh, there we go. Let's choose this one. And this is all open information, of course, right now. And so what he has is he has the alien archaeology. And I should also point out the numbers in the top left corner, those are the victory point numbers. Didn't mention that we have 2, 3, 4 right now out above our development playmat. And this is going to be count for 2 victory points at the end of the game. So this one says when you explore, you get $4 instead of 2 when stocking with an alien technology. Stocking with an alien technology, yellow explorer. So if you use a yellow explorer to explore, you're going to get $4 instead of 2. And again, once we get into the first round, you'll see how that works. They have the alien Rosetta Stone. Gain an alien technology yellow die into your citizenry at the start of the game. So we both get an alien die, and they're really good because they have 3 wild card symbols on them. So they get 1 into their citizenry. And that's their basically set up race and abilities. And likewise now they're going to get a starting world. So which starting world? Oh, I don't know. That's their starting world. We'll see what that is. They have Star Nomads. And again, the artwork just awesome on these. Very, very thick too as well. Little tokens here that represent the planets and developments. And so that says gain an entrepreneur orange die and novelty cayenne die into your citizenry at the start of the game. Wow, that is... yeah, we're going to have a hard time beating these guys. Anyway, so they go into their citizenry at the start of the game, and that's going to count them 1 victory point at the end. All right, and likewise, they now need to pick the lowest development and the lowest world, reaching into the jumbo bag of 60, well, now there's not 60, there's 58 tokens, and let's see, randomly pulling out a couple. And what do they? Well, they're going to have a choice because they have 2 4s for worlds and 2 2s for developments. So I don't know. They're just going to do this. They're going to take the minor research labs. Development costs 2. And this says whenever you ship, you get +1 victory chip for each good you consume from a gene's green or alien technology yellow world this phase. So he's going to want to start developing yellow worlds, which is this one, or green worlds, to be able to consume the goods on them and get those extra victory points. And that's only going to cost him 2 research or 2 development dice to do. He also has a deserted alien outpost. Well, he is the alien archaeologist, so this is a kind of a neat coincidence. And it says gain an alien technology yellow good on this world when you place it. So these are in development. That means they have not happened yet. Okay, so now we are set up here. So we got set up as the blue player. The red player is set up as well. And now we would be getting into turn 1. Let me just show you something else that we're going to keep track of for this playthrough. And then maybe we actually have time at the end of this video to go ahead and do 1 round each. Alright, so what I've laid out here is what comes with the game are these, again, thick chits or tokens that have each of the 5 symbols on them with an X across them on one side and a looks like a active side on the other side. And with a 2-player game, you have a 1 white home die is kind of like the dummy player. And every turn, this just gets rolled, boom, and whatever it is, that phase will activate. So if this was what was happening, there would be a shipping phase happening this turn, plus what we are going to do. And so what we'll do is, what you're supposed to do is each player is going to decide how to allocate their dice, and we'll do a turn here. I'll show you how it works. And then we're going to roll this, and we're going to see if we get an extra one or whether it just duplicates something that we're already going to do. So let's go back to our playmat area. We'll go back to ours because we're going to keep the blue player's information secret. And you're supposed to keep it secret. The game actually comes with these folding mats that you're supposed to put in front of your dice so nobody knows what you're rolling. Again, really cool artwork. And on the inside of these, yes, is a ton of information. Basically gives you a round summary, which I suppose we can go through right now. It tells you how to start up the game, which we've done. And there are stickers that come with the expansion that overlay this off the board for both the dice distribution percentages and the startup. So basically we're going to roll our dice and we're going to assign our workers. Then you're going to reveal your workers. So you assign them in secret, you reveal them to everybody, then you do the phases that are only phases that occur are selected. And then you manage your empire and you rinse and repeat until someone either has 12 development slash colonies, worlds settled, or the 24 extra point tokens are gone. So let's go ahead and do a first round, and you'll get the hang of this very quickly once you see how things are played. So we're going to start off with us. We're the blue player, and we're against the red player. And so let's go to our area, the blue player. We're going to roll our dice, and I'll show you how this works, and we'll have the red player do his stuff off screen in secret, and then we're going to do the reveal. All right, so here we are. What we do on the start of our turn is we roll our dice. And now, yes, we would have our screen up so no other player could see what we're rolling, but I'm doing this myself. So it's going to roll dice. So we take our cup, we shake it, we're going to toss our dice down onto the rolling surface, and we're going to take a look at what we have. And the first thing I do is I just line them up. So we have a settle, we have a develop, we have a produce, and we have the captain here with a little $sign on it under explore. Now how this works, let me try to explain this as best I can. You can pick any one die that you want. Doesn't matter what is showing on the face, and you can just place it up on top of this mat. You need to do that. That's part of the process. So I can just say, you know what? I don't want to. I have no worlds. Well, I could produce on brown. Technically, I could produce. But I don't really want to this turn. I really want to settle my world. I really want that to happen. So I'm going to take this die, and again, it doesn't matter what's on the face, and I'm just going to say settling is happening. I'm making it happen. And now I have basically one die that is going to make sure settling happens, and my alien die is going to be a second die that will happen at the same time as this one. We do have two here, so we will be able to settle that world this turn, right now. Now the other dice underneath are potentials. There's things that may happen. This is definitely happening because we put the die on the little tracker, but I don't know what the red player is going to do. He may want to develop. If he does develop and I leave this die here, I will get one die to be able to develop with. If he decides to settle, I will get one die to settle with. And I'll run through the actions as they occur, explain how they work, instead of trying to go through them all right now, and then I'll just do it as we play. So I think we're going to leave ourselves set up like this, which means we have one explore action, one potential explore action, and the dollar sign means if this die is used for exploring this turn, he will go back in the cup. Normally you have to spend money, and we'll get to that in that phase. So we have one potential explore, one potential develop, and definitely we are going to settle. We're using 2 dice, guaranteed. All right, so I'm going to do some rolling off screen for the red. We're going to take a look and see what red chose. We know what we chose. Then we're going to go roll the random die for the dummy player and see if he rolls the same thing we're doing or something different. All right, so this is the order I'm going to do it in. We're going to roll the die for the dummy player first on every turn and just see what comes up. So we get the explore symbol. Exploring is definitely going to happen. And we know from what we just looked at with our dice set, we are making sure settling is going to happen. So we're going to, this turn already for sure, we're going to have a explore action and we're going to have a settle action. Let's go take a look at the red player and see what he laid out for his dice. All right, so looking at the red player, they have decided to develop. So they just took any die, doesn't matter what's on the face, and stuck it on develop. They used their captain as a wild card to go underneath the develop, and they also have one in the explore die spot. So let's go back. We're going to flip over the development, and then we're going to do those 3 phases. The way I'm going to do the videos is we're going to do, each player is going to do all their phases, and then we go to the next player to do all their phases. It's kind of, you do it simultaneously when you're playing the game anyway, but just for videoing this series, it's going to be easier if I do, instead of doing the settle for both and then doing, or the explore for both and the develop for both, it's just easier to do one player all at once. It's not really going to matter. Anyway, so let's go over, flip over that development, and we're going to see which phases we are going to do for turn 1. All right, so we know that developing is going to happen because of the red player. So what's not going to happen this turn? We're going to have no production and we're going to have no shipping. Well, big deal. But we are going to have a explore, we're going to have a develop, and we're going to have a settle. So let's start with us, and let's go ahead and do those 3 phases. All right, so starting off here, we have an explore. Exploring is happening. So we have 1 die, and it's, luckily for us, it's the captain, which has the dollar symbol on him, so he is going to go back in the cup. So we get to explore once. Now, what does exploring mean? You can either do a scouting action. I believe it's called, I think it is called scouting. No, it's called, it's called stalking. You can stalk or you can scout. Scouting means we're going to go into the bag and we're going to pull out one of the tokens. It's kind of exploring the universe, finding new either developments or settlements. Stalking means you can take $2 and add it to your track. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do this turn. I'm going to take $2, so I'm going to go from 1, I'm going to go up to $3. So I'm doing a stalking action with my Explorer. Now for develop, I have 1 development die. The die itself is going to go sit on my development. If I get 2 more development die on here, and they don't have to be development die because you can place a die on, different things, but I need 3 dice on our executive power to activate and put that up into our galaxy. And next up is going to be settling. Wow, what's going to happen right now for us is we have 1 die, we have 2 dice, and that means we've matched the number here. We are settling. So these guys did their job. They're going to go back to the citizenry. They go back in, and we're going to read this card again. And it says, gain an entrepreneur orange die and novelty die into your citizenry when you place this world. So we have indeed colonized that world, or settled it. So we're going to place an entrepreneur, which is nice. That's the multi-sided die, and a cayenne die here as well. Now, if you want to pause on this, you can, but there's the little dice distribution, and it tells you the probabilities of which face is going to show up on which die and how often. So like an orange entrepreneur, you can get $2, 2 explorers. It's got 2 of everything, has no wild sides. Whereas the yellow die here, the alien one, has no explore, no $, 1 develop, 1 settle, 1 produce, and 3 wild card sides. So it gives you each color of die and what they're worth. So we've basically finished off this part of our turn. So we've done the 3 phases. Now if we had a die under produce, which is not happening this turn, it just goes back into our cup. If we had a die under ship, then it's not happening this turn, it goes back under here. If I'd used a die up here to change the allocation of another die, and we'll get into this when it happens. It didn't happen this turn, but you can place 1 die here to make any other die go somewhere else. That die would also go back in the cup. All right, over to red, and they're going to do, if they have explore, develop, or settle, and no produce and no shipping. And one thing I should note is I did not use my homeworld or my planetary surveyor's ability, which was to take 1 or 2 of the white dice and allocate them to either become explorers and or settlers. So I didn't bother using that ability. I could have. His special ability is if he explores if he does a stocking with a yellow die, then he gets $4 instead of getting 2. But he doesn't have any yellow die right now. Anyway, so he's going to go ahead and he's going to explore. And so with his 1 explore die, he's going to use that, and he's going to also take $2. Now, had it been a yellow die, he would get 4, but it's just the white one, he gets $2. And now he has develop. Well, he's going to develop with 1, 2 dice. His development now is happening. Now, the captain die, unfortunately, is just a wild one, so it does not go back in the cup because there's no $sign on it. So he's going to take this development, and it is going to happen. So once again, it's minor research labs, and you can see it shows you here which phase these things are going to happen in. So this is going to happen in phase 5, which is shipping. So he gets +1 victory chip for each good you consume from a green or alien tech yellow world this phase. So that is a technology that is now available to him for giving extra bonus points, but he has to get alien worlds or green worlds out into his galaxy and then start putting goods on them and consuming those goods. And we'll get into those in later videos. And that is the end of doing all of our actions. So now the very last thing is we have to manage our empire. And so we're going to go back to our empire, and we're going to finish off with the Red's empire for managing, and that will be the end of episode 1. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing on the Manage the Empire zone is we can recruit. So we can spend $1 per die to put in our cup. Well, we have $3 to spend, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to recruit 3 of our characters. And I think we're going to recruit the 2 entrepreneur orange and the 1 alien die. They give us the most, I think, variability for what we need. So we're going to throw that into our cup. And this, of course, when it gets to 0, it just automatically now bounces back to 1. So you never have less than 1. Now that's the recruiting, and we're going to reset those flipped over tokens, these ones here. So I'll just do this off camera. We're going to flip them all back over for the dummy player area where we know which phases are going to take place. And then the very, there's one other thing you can do. You can recall dice. If I wanted to, I could take this die off of here and I could throw it in my cup. If I really thought, I don't want to bother developing that, I'd rather get more dice in my cup for my next roll. You can pull dice either off of worlds that have goods on them that you've placed out there, dice out there, and you can only ever put 1 die on each world. I should let you know that. Or you can pull dice off of whatever you're developing, either a settlement or a development, here, and throw them into the cup. So I'm not bothering to do that, obviously. And then resetting the things. And then you check for end game conditions. Does anyone have 12 out? No. Are all of the 24 victory point or victory chips out or used in player areas? No, they're not. The bin is not empty from the 24. Okay, over to the red area, and he's going to do the same type of activities. All right, so red now is going to be doing some recruiting. He also has $3, 1, 2, 3, which would put him down to 0. He's going to obviously take his yellow die, because that's the most useful for him. He's going to get his captain back, and he's going to take his entrepreneur. So taking all his colored dice into his cup. And then, of course, he bounces back to 1, because no one ever has less than 1. And we've already flipped all the tokens over. Of course, all this stuff happens kind of simultaneously. He does not even have any dice out anywhere to pull off and put back in his cup if he wanted to. All right, that's going to be the end of turn 1. So we're going to keep doing this. I'm going to do a complete playthrough until we finish off with either one player is going to have 12. So this counts as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 4 out right now. So do I. His point total right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our point total is 6. And we keep doing this, putting dice back in our cup, rolling them, allocating them, and trying to, race and be the first one to get either 12 out onto our galaxy, or get all the victory point chips out of the pile before the end of before someone gets 12, and that will end the game as well. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me for the continuation next time of Roll for the Galaxy. I'm doing a 2-player complete playthrough. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a really fun, really good game. I like it better than Race. Some people might like Race, the card game, better. I find this one just somewhat easier to follow. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and join me next time.